Okay. We are ready. We are recording and ready whenever you are.
Fantastic. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being here. Good morning. My name is Keith Ofsted, and I'm calling this meeting to order at 8:54. I am the chair of the City of San Diego Commission for Arts and Culture Public Art Committee. We're going to do a quick roll call to confirm committee member attendance. When I call your name, please say present. Commissioner Fritz Friedman. Present. Commissioner Dennis Doan. Francisco Eme. Wayne Holton. Commissioner Abe Hughes. Present. Commissioner Alessandro Moctezuma. Commissioner Imani Robinson. Present. Dr. Denise Rogers. Andrew Alcacid. Present. Amy Sanchez Arteaga. Rachel Jans. Thank you, everybody. Your attendance has been noted. We're going to go ahead and move on to the non-agenda public comment. The public was invited to submit public comment on agenda and non-agenda items via the web form, which is accessible through the agenda and the Commission's website. Members of the public may also join this meeting in person and as webinar attendees. If members of the public have submitted comments in writing via the web form, staff will read aloud public comments submitted per city public comment protocol. I will now call on Chuck to read aloud any non-agenda public comment or to call on any attendees who would like to provide comment.
Thank you, Commissioner Ofsted. Good morning, committee members. We'll start with those members of the public who are attending in person. Please fill out a speaker slip if you have not already done so. For virtual attendees, please click the button to raise your hand to indicate that you would like to comment, and I will enable you to speak and send you a prompt to unmute yourself in order. When I call your name, please state for the record, and you will state your name for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to provide comment, after which you will be placed on mute again. If you're joining via phone, please press *9 to raise your hand. I will call on you by the last 4 digits in your phone number. When I call on you, press *6 to unmute yourself. Please raise your hand now if you would like to provide non-agenda public comment. Seeing none.
Thank you, Chuck. We're going to go ahead and jump into commission business. As a reminder, the Public Art Committee did not meet in February, and there was not a normal meeting of the full commission in February. The panelist recommendations for the Ward Canyon Park Public Art Project were carried to the commission at the January meeting and subsequently approved. We look forward to updates about that and the Fire Station 48 Black Mountain Ranch project in the coming months. Otherwise, we have a busy agenda today, so let's go ahead and proceed. So I'm going to talk a little faster than normal here. We have one action item, and that is the approval of the minutes. I hope everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes from the January meeting. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes as they are?
So moved. I have to admit something I don't want to admit to. I'm just going to be January. I was sick.
Oh, I believe that is noted in the minutes, but
okay, I just saw my name. So
members absent, Imani Robinson.
Correct. It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Oh, thank you. No problem.
Yeah.
So we have a first. We have a second. Thank you. We now have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? No. Now we will take a vote. I'll call your name and you'll respond out loud with yay, nay, or abstain. Remember that you do not need to have been present at the January meeting to vote or discuss. Commissioner Friedman.
Yay.
Commissioner Doan. Commissioner Hughes.
Yay.
Commissioner Robinson.
Yay.
Dr. Denise Rogers. Andrew Alcacid.
Yeah.
And my vote is a yay. Thank you. Chuck, please read any public comment for this item that was submitted in writing and call on any attendees that would like to provide comment for this item.
Thank you, Commissioner Ofsted. No comments submitted in writing. I'll ask those members of the public in attendance if they would like to provide any comment on this item. Please provide a speaker slip or raise your hand now. Seeing none.
Thank you very much. So on to the fun stuff here. We have a presentation, the preliminary artwork ideas for Here Comes the Neighborhood in Kanto by Kaori Fukuyama, Roberto Salas, and Christopher Lloyd Tucker. As we have 3 presentations for this agenda item, after each artist presentation, the Public Art Committee will have approximately 5 to 7 minutes to respond and ask questions. And then we will proceed with the next presentation. Finally, we will call for public comment after the 3 presentations, and the committee's responses. I'd like to take this opportunity to remind my fellow committee members, you have a copy of the artwork evaluation criteria for your reference, and to be mindful and concise with their questions and comments in the interest of time. Excuse me. With that, I would like to call on Chuck to provide an overview of the initiative and introduce the artists to provide their presentations.
Thank you, Commissioner Ofsted. Good morning, everyone, once again. And so I just have a few slides to start us off to remind us about the Here Comes the Neighborhood initiative. Encanto is the second iteration of the Here Comes the Neighborhood initiative, the first having been in San Isidro. The format of the initiative is to commission artists to develop permanent artworks for Encanto in proximity to the Black Arts and Culture District. The resultant artworks are intended to respond to the neighborhood spatially, socially, as well as the artist's individual practices. So just a reminder about the goals of the initiative. So bearing these in mind, that the map shows the Encanto neighborhood as well as a rough highlight of where the Black Arts and Culture District is along the Imperial Avenue corridor. So the goals of this initiative are to directly respond to sites in San Diego's Encanto neighborhood, advance forward-thinking contemporary art practices, support visually engaged and conceptually rich works, and cultivate curiosity, connection, or that which otherwise affects the people and visitors to the neighborhood and the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District. Moving along here. So these slides are just to remind everybody about the city's commissioning, the artwork development process for city commissions and where we kind of are in that process. So we have procured artists. The artists have gathered research and engaged the public. The artists have created preliminary ideas. And right now we are giving them feedback on their preliminary ideas that they can use in development of to further develop their schematic proposal. So moving on, this is to more precisely the Public Art Committee's role in the process of the artwork development process for city commissioned artworks. And once again, here today, we are providing feedback to the artists in the preliminary idea phase. So these projects will come to this body for feedback an additional time in the schematic proposal phase, and then they will come yet again for action, for recommendation once they've been developed into a final proposal. And so just as Keith mentioned, or Commissioner Ofsted mentioned, you have the criteria for your reference, and those are the criteria that we'll use to evaluate these proposals today. So with that, for our first presentation, I'd like to introduce Kaori Fukuyama. Kaori is a multidisciplinary artist and art educator whose work primarily explores the relationship between light, color, and form. With a background in landscape architecture, she has since exhibited widely as an artist and received several large-scale public commissions recently. With that, I'll hand it over to Kaori to begin the presentation. So thank you, Kaori. And I'll go through the slides. You can just tell me.
Next.
Yeah.
You have something over there at that regional health, the regional
yes.
county center, right?
Livewell
Upstairs.
Center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
nice.
Hi everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Chuck. Can go to the next slide as well.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm Kaori. Nice to meet you. Back in September last year, there was an event called Meet the Artist in Encanto, where I was able to meet some of the community members and the residents from the neighborhood. And some of them mentioned how important the music is to this community. And that sentiment was also reflected in their survey that we received. And so I became very interested in working with this idea of music and what it means to the community. And when I mentioned it during the meeting, next slide, Christine mentioned that there is a music school located in the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District of Encanto, called Heartbeat Music and Performing Arts Academy. This is essentially a nonprofit, state-funded school that offers music education to preschoolers, as well as the after-school marching band program for the underserved youth in the community. And I was really impressed by their program and also very inspired by their stories. So I reached out to them and in hopes that we could potentially collaborate for this project. And they're very excited and happy to partner with me through the creative process. Next, please. At the same time, I started looking around the site throughout the neighborhood, and I remembered some of the community members mentioning the MLK Park, which is about a mile south from the main street of Imperial Avenue. And it's a large community park. It has sports fields, indoor courts, picnic areas, as well as playground. And when I visited the site, I saw a lot of people from various age groups using the site. So I saw a lot of potential and also found out that this was a site for the music festival in the past. Yeah, maybe we can go to the next slide. And when I walked around the site, I immediately noticed this rec center building, specifically this series of south-facing walls. It's really expansive, about 192 feet total. And as you can see, it's almost all blank, except for some of the doors and lights and things. I also found out that MLK himself had very strong connection to music, and he thought of music as a powerful source to uplift and inspire people during the civil rights movement. So I thought of this site as not only like a good use of existing structure, but also a nice backdrop for the concept that I'm exploring. Next, please. So I like to propose an art installation that highlights Encanto's connection to music on the south wall of the rec center at MLK Park through collaboration with Heartbeat Academy, specifically by translating the music and beats from their drumline performance into the visual sound wave pattern, and also by incorporating MLK's quote about music from his speech at 1964 Berlin Jazz Festival. And you can see my initial concept sketch. Next, please. Here's like the overview of the project, and we can go next. Looking closely at the middle section of the site, right here. This is where I like to place the sound wave that are made from transparent acrylic panels. Next, please. And the far east on this side is where I like to place the quote and musical notes. Next. On the west wall has the same treatment with the different quote from MLK. And next. As far as the color goes, I like to use red, green, and black from the Pan-African flag as in combination to yellow for optimism and equality, and blue for blue acknowledging the painful past, as well as injustice that are still present toward the African American community in America. Okay, go next. In terms of the materials, I'm thinking of using the acrylic panels of red and blue for the sound wave. They will be cut into these arc-shaped or closed arc shape. And then for the quotes, I would like to use metal, either stainless steel or powder-coated aluminum. And for the musical notes, same transparent acrylic sheets of different colors. And next. Here is a small scale model of the sound wave. You can just look at it from different angles. And then below, I'm just showing how it will look with the interaction of light throughout the day. That's it.
Thank you very much, Kaori. Are there any questions or comments about Kaori's presentation or preliminary ideas? This is your chance to provide feedback that will help shape the schematic proposal.
I do have a question. That is, I noticed the color coding, it symbolized something, right? Like blue was sadness or whatever it was. Where did that color coding come from? I mean, if I was to look at this, for me, it would just be colors, but I have no means of realizing the significance of each color. Are you going to have some means of explaining the symbolism of these colors? Because honestly, unless it's a universal code that I'm not aware of, like green is the natural abundant, the beauty of Africa. I can also say that about Ireland, and so on and so forth. So how would you explain that to the casual observer?
I think that color means differently to different people, but these colors, at least the first three colors for the Pan-African flag, they're explained kind of, I guess it is, I'm not sure how common knowledge it is, but it is used, these three colors are used for that specific reasons. That's my understanding. And the yellow, optimism and equality, is from the Black History Month logo. They use yellow for that reason. And blue, I feel like it could mean different things, but it's commonly known for, you know,
For being sad, like
blue.
like
Yes.
I'm blue.
Right.
Sad. I think it's interesting. I kind of got that after I thought a lot about it, the flags and all that. But I'm just wondering what people thought of perhaps having
Yeah.
some sort of explanation.
Dr.
Can
Rogers?
I add? Because what was going through my mind is I love your presentation.
Oh, thank
And I love the concept.
Mhm.
And my question was, okay, what colors are you gonna use? And when I saw this,
Mhm.
like, okay, you got it.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking, how are you gonna connect to the community and the African Americans within the Black community in that area? And Rich, you're right, there are some who may not know, which provides an educational opportunity.
Mhm.
But for the people in the neighborhood, they're gonna see this, okay. This is the Pan-African flag. These are the colors of the community, and they will be able to connect with that. But then you'll have to educate others
Right.
as to this meaning. So you need a little bit of both.
Right. Yeah, if there is an opportunity to have some kind of blurb about the piece, maybe that would be nice.
But an explanation of the piece would also be good. Why you did that, the music, Dr. King's statement at the jazz festival, so on and so forth. It's just interesting background, and I think it adds depth to the presentation.
Okay. Thank you.
Just a
Commissioner Robinson, you've been waiting patiently.
I just want to know, how are you going to incorporate the colors? Because we just saw, it just looks like pink and blue, as a model. And I love when you put those sheer panels, the colors, because I know it's going to really be very vibrant, as you said, as the day moves and the colors.
Right.
But I see those colors, so how is it incorporated? Is it going, or, yeah.
So my initial thought was for the sound wave, I like to use red and blue. And then for the quotes and if you can go back one or two. One more. So I'm thinking of using these musical notes that are made in colored acrylic panels, and those are the ones that I like to use, like various colors, green and yellow and red. For the lettering, I was thinking of using maybe aluminum, powder coated aluminum, but quotes will be a cast shadow on the wall.
Right.
So that will be the black.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yeah, I think it's a great conceptual proposal. I think it's coherent. I think it's really nice and big, and maybe to just think about the didactic, that there could be some kind of a panel, and maybe even, everybody's using these days, right, QR
Yeah,
codes.
right.
Maybe even in that QR code, a suggestion could be to put the drum band, the
Yeah,
music,
I
so
was
that
thinking
people
that,
can
yeah.
listen to
That's,
what
I want to hear this.
the
Yeah.
way it is, right? Cause it's
Yeah.
gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then maybe for the opening, they're there as, to play that music or every year or something like that. But my only question on the lettering, right, is if you're gonna make it a different color, your schematic didn't show that color. So if you're gonna
Right.
do like red, and they'd pop like they'd be red, right? Like on the letters.
The letters will probably be
Yeah.
This is like the cast shadow that you are
Okay,
seeing,
gotcha.
and then there are two options for mounting. I was thinking more leaning towards this, which is like mounting it horizontally, and then the shadow will
would
be
show the
where
thing.
you see the
Interesting.
letters. Yeah.
Well, what do you do at night?
That is a good question.
My comments here. All right. So thank you very much for this. Couple of things. The lighting at night is an opportunity with color, another option of color instead of just being white, because if you can go forward one more. The building is so light gray, it is an opportunity to tell a story. And as you said, 190 plus square feet. So I see the red and the blue, or the pink and the blue, very much here. That's Ward 1.
That's
Go back with the lettering and went back more. The lettering is too complicated, and I think simplifying the lettering, maybe even incorporating more of a simple one, kind of like in the Black History Month logo, rather than all the serifs and everything. I feel like the shadows would be a little bit easier to interpret that way, rather than, as it changes around, when you add those extra. Can you go back to where it showed the lettering? That gets really complicated. And so simplifying that, I think, would really, really help. Also incorporating more of the colors. I just see the pink and the blue, and then a darker gray. That just seems like it's too open for interpretation. And I want people to read into it, but I also think that some of that information should be provided to viewers.
okay. We should.
Okay.
One last.
Yeah.
This is just a preliminary. This is just a preliminary.
Yeah. Got you, Keith. And I'm with you on that. And if you go back to where on the panels, I can see that as starting with the red, and instead of doing the red, black, and green flag, because that would be more of the red, black, and green, the lettering in a sense with the musical notes. Because you have it looks pink and blue. But if you were to incorporate the flag in that, because you have it in like 3 pieces. So if you did the red, yellow, and green, and in that flow of the sound wave.
Sound wave.
Kind of like a flag, but not.
Can
It's
you go
more
back?
kind of mixed.
One.
Yeah, go back. Yes. So if we start
I see. Different
Yeah.
lights,
Red.
different color.
and then the gold, and then the green would really, and because I love seeing those colors,
And then
and
you
especially with
capture
the
the
light.
flag, yeah.
That's true.
And then keeping the black more on the letters.
We're trying to-
Now you've gone too far.
We're trying to honor time limits, but just want to acknowledge also that Francisco Amy has joined us, so. Okay, but thank you. Thank you. So, anyone else? And once again, this is just preliminary phase, so we're gonna continue to get feedback. So thank you very much,
Thank you.
Kari. And Chuck, if you can please call on the next artist.
Thank you, Commissioner Opstead. So Roberto Salas is joining us virtually. Roberto, can you say something to let us know if you can hear us and you're there?
Good morning. I am here.
Wait, I don't know why.
Yes.
One
Yes.
second, I've got to figure out some audio. Could you speak again, Roberto?
Yes. Good morning. Good
Okay,
morning.
there we go.
Yeah.
Hang on just a sec.
No problem.
Could you test one more time?
Test.
Great, perfect. Thank you so much, Roberto. I'm gonna just read a quick bio and then I'll hand it over to you. Roberto Salas has been making work in the public for nearly 40 years, including some of the first commissioned contemporary work in San Diego Civic Collection. He's exhibited extensively nationally and internationally, as well as produced numerous public commissions, including most recently the public art included with the Port of San Diego's new Sweetwater Park in Chula Vista. With that, I'll hand it over to Roberto to present his preliminary idea.
Good morning, everyone. Chuck, at your discretion, I think you can handle the images, please.
Sure, just prompt me. Otherwise, I'll go
Good deal.
through.
We'll just play by ear. I have this narrative that I'm going to be reading some bullets from, and if you can bear with me. But where have we ever seen the printed word Ubuntu? I am because we are. The African philosophy of Ubuntu, something that I learned in one of the little collective meetings that we had. We as a people of color need to have images that are relatable to who lives in our communities. I am proposing a project that redefines public art in a different format rather than one piece in one place. The project involves distribution via gifting of displayable plaques distributed throughout the corridor of Imperial Avenue and the Black Arts and Cultural Districts, such as supermarkets, libraries, offices, coffee shops, where this image will be seen in public. In addition to the plaques, there are distributed through gifting. There will be a permanent version of the plaque installed at the location to be determined along Imperial Avenue corridor in the Black Arts and Cultural District. The recipients of the plaque may display them in their businesses, offices, etc., as they see fit. The plaques may be encountered in the street or in the businesses along Imperial Avenue or both, inspiring curiosity about their origins and connectivity to the Black Arts and Cultural District businesses and residents that lay along the way. The buy-in concept of this project is designed to empower the name Encanto and its people through hosting a plaque. Spreading the good word is important for unification, pride, and visual affirmation. In this era of such negativities, we need images to bring us together. The plaque will consist of the greeting, the word Ubuntu, with the positive words in faded text behind it, related to the letter E for Encanto. Also, the similarity of the letter E in American Sign Language to the gesture of the raised fist. With years of domination, this iconic image of the raised fist is an affirmation of empowerment in both Black and Brown diasporas. It has given us strength, unity, and new beginnings. I first learned of it as a teenager during the 1960s. I witnessed the Black Power salute during the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City. This gesture empowered me to who I am now. And here you're seeing just some rough sketches and then some ones that we're still working on, patterns. But the color patterns is also something that aesthetically becomes something beautiful to look at, something the colors relate to who we are and how it'll work. We're still working on the fonts and things of that nature, but it's a real simple piece, but thinking outside the public art box. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto, for your presentation. Are there any questions or comments about Roberto's preliminary idea? This is your chance to provide feedback that will help shape the schematic proposal.
So these are like tangible plaques that are handed out and what left out to like trading cards? Or
yeah.
I like the whole trading cards, but what it is, it's a poster that's going to be in businesses. You can hang it on the window, hang it on the wall, things of this nature, so that when you go to one business and go to another one, you'll recognize this, and it's sort of a reaffirmation of the community Encanto. And the whole buy-in is that the host will buy in by hosting public art.
Again, is there some sort of explanation as what Ubuntu means when you're looking at that poster?
Ubuntu is the African philosophy. It's an African philosophy. I know
what it is. I'm just saying, an observer looking at that poster, which is a very powerful image, but then you're going to have the word Ubuntu on top of it. That's what I recall. And
yes.
If you do so, someone like me who may not know what that word means, how are you going to explain that to me if I'm looking at the poster?
Well, I'm hoping that's what it does. It stimulates. If I see a word that I don't know, I look it up.
Yeah.
I try to find what it is. And that's the curiosity of life. It's you have to see for yourself of what's going on. You could have a QR code that explains it as well, that's built into it. That's another way that we could do it. But in general, I'm trying to figure out a way that the public can have some curiosity of things that are out there. I mean, if it's something that I find relationship to, I'll investigate it. I'll dig it until I find out what's going on. But that's, again, me. But I think a QR code would be something that could be incorporated into the poster. That would be the easiest way to do it.
Dr. Rogers?
I have a question about the materials and the longevity of the posters. I mean, are they going to, you said plaques, are they going to be metal plaques that these businesses can mount that will last for a long time? Or are they posters that can degenerate, they'll change, they'll fade, and then they'll be gone in a short period?
I'm looking at a subgrade of some type of metal that'll be durable. There's a lot of new technology right now with metals that are available to be printed on, long-lasting printed, also that'll protect from UV. So it's something a little permanent and something a little stronger than just a poster. That's why I'm using the word plaque art.
I don't know how participatory you want to get with the project, but one thing that, maybe you can think about as you try to disseminate and disperse is if you did have some kind of a etching that you can make of this on metal, it could even be, or what have you. Then you can do printing of this and get the community involved, and everybody can get a print, a unique print or a, serigraph. You could even get one of these steamrollers, small one, and use that as your mechanism for printing, because that's kind of magical to see. And then you get more buy-in, and now many people, now not just the store owners, but now you got lots of people in their homes perhaps can take away a piece of art. And be more engaged with your project. So just something to think about.
Yes,
Also,
absolutely.
you can
Good
do is you
suggestion.
can recognize that on
Yeah.
T-shirts. So you can start.
Hey, that would be-
Let's let Roberto respond.
Yeah, I think those are good suggestions in the way that we could create a workshop or something to that nature.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. That works really good. And that could easily be done, I also was thinking that, eventually I could create a poster that could be a certain giveaway at a certain event or something to that nature. But yes, I like the T-shirts. I like the engagement of working with the community on something like that. But those are great ideas. We can expand it even more.
Francisco?
Yeah, I just have a question. Would it be possible to have some kind of epicenter of the piece, some kind of something that is permanent, and then distribute this other with the neighborhood.
Yes, we're working on that right now, and that's something that it'll be along the corridor. And so that's something that we're trying to figure and determine where, because it's a problematic area, you know, it's limited to where we can put work, but we're working on that. And yes, that would be something that will be presented.
Feeding in and expressing and implementing our arts and culture plan for the city, it would be a great learning experience. And then there's the Malcolm X Library where we can meet the artists, the concept, and really get into the work. The word Ubuntu is a very old word. And we keep trying to hold on to it, but we keep losing it. And so this would really be a way to make it more permanent in the community. Because the word keeps going away and it keeps coming back, but we're not holding on to it. And this is really a way. And I love the fist with Ubuntu together. So I really appreciate how you capture that. And it is almost like creating like a scavenger hunt. And seeing it in different places in the community, and all of the new businesses are buying into, you know, putting it in their stores. So I really love the encanto of Ubuntu. It's really nicely expressed. Thank you.
So maybe the library might be a good spot
Yeah.
for like some, you know, larger kind of piece, you know what I mean?
We want it more in our, because in our district. It has to be.
The library, the MLK library is not in the district?
Adjacent.
It's not right there, right? It's not.
The
right.
9 blocks,
And
the
I
Boys
would
and
love to
Girls
see the
Club.
fist as I'm driving down Imperial some kind of way.
That'd be cool.
Especially a nice
We got a,
huge metal piece of some sort. I would love to see that.
we got an island time, let's go one more presentation, but thank you all. And Roberta, just one other thing is, how many do you envision making? And if the basically different businesses are gonna be buying it, how much is it gonna cost?
No, I'm talking about buy-in as accepting being a host. This is a
Got it.
gifting. We're going to gift
Thank you
it
for
to
the
the business.
clarification, and I apologize for my ignorance. How many pieces?
Well, I'm thinking, I counted just recently that there are about like maybe 60 businesses, I think, including, you know. So yeah, a good batch of them. It would be a limited edition. And then again, it would be spread throughout the area. But I like the whole central area. I thought about the library, but I know it's not within the actual district. So, but I'm open to any suggestions. And thank you for helping me out on this.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for everyone's feedback on that. Roberto, thank you so much for your presentation. Look forward to seeing where it goes from here. But thank you very much for the thoughtfulness that went into this.
Thank you. Appreciate the feedback.
Thanks so much, Roberto. So we'll be continuing. And so our final presentation for the day is Christopher Lloyd Tucker. Christopher Lloyd Tucker is a multidisciplinary artist whose work primarily translates digital images into materials such as wood and metal. Chris has exhibited widely, including recent temporary public exhibition at the San Diego Airport, and is included in the public collection at the new San Diego County Southeastern Live Well Center. With that, I will hand it over to Chris to present his preliminary idea.
What? You sure? Oh, okay, man. Sorry.
Thank you. My name is Christopher Lloyd Tucker, and here is my presentation for Here Comes the Neighborhood in Content. Deeply rooted in site context, the artwork celebrates the rich experience of Black people and culture. The composition serves as a testament to shared heritage, featuring figurative imagery, along with various African and African American cultural symbols. The site preliminarily being considered for this artwork is the exterior of the Boys and Girls Club building, which overlooks Marie Whiteman Park and is situated in the Black Arts and Culture District. So the Black Arts and Culture District is in Southeast San Diego, just south of the 94, and east of the 805 and southeast of where I live at City Heights. And the Black Arts and Culture District specifically is on Imperial Avenue between 61st and 69th Street. And then this is the Boys and Girls Club just right here. It's on the corner of Imperial Avenue and 68th Street, overlooking Marie Weidman Park, and is visible from Imperial Avenue and from the trolley. Since I was asked to incorporate removable panels into the design, I decided to really run with that and have some portion of the design hanging off the wall entirely. So I did a quick 3D mock-up to show how some of the pieces would be like laying on the wall. Some of them would be coming out from. It's a very short video, if that plays.
Oh, oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, it made it,
Yeah.
I think.
These are permanent.
That's okay.
Running into technical difficulty.
No problem.
My apologies. Oh, hang on just a sec. Maybe. Oh, yeah, it's opening. Yeah, I'll just. If that comes up, I'll come back to it.
It really is just a 3-second video where it just kind of tilts from one side to the other. That's really it. So I'd like to explain just some of the references to the best of my ability in a short timeline. The composition's central African element is a Kuba figure from the Ashanti people of Ghana. When a woman is having a difficult time conceiving a child, the Ashanti carve the small idol and give it to the woman to care for them until they're able to have their own child. The fellow with 4 eyes is Lili Mask from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. 2 of the eyes represent the community, and the other 2 represent the eyes of the ancestors, all of which have to be in agreement if the boy before them has become responsible enough to be accepted as a man. This guy is from the Ivory Coast. I have not learned anything about him yet. I just feel like he's really stylish. I like him a lot. I'm going to look into him, and if there's, hopefully he'll stay. All right. Yeah, so the musical symbols are first because Black music should always be selling. But also, I wanted to include the turntables to reference the Encanto Street Fest, which was a big deal that is not present anymore. And I wanted to bring that up as we try to get that back. But I also wanted to highlight the bass as a reference to something I ran into in my research, the Underground Improv, which was a club, a mainstay of the neighborhood that's no longer with us, that held poetry readings, underground hip hop. And Charles Mingus's grandson played bass there in a jazz band. So I thought I would just put that right up there. Big fan of Mingus. I also wanted to include the abstract image of the threading of a football, as there are 4 Heisman Trophy winners who come from Encanto. I wanted to honor that. I think it's probably something having to do with all those hills. And the Afropick was part of the composition way before I knew that the inventor of the Afropick actually comes from Encanto. Really? It's just, it's a simple Black culture. It's crazy. Some of the background patterning is Kuba cloth, again from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Kuba cloth is a central art form, and it is a status symbol, but it's also an object of commerce for the Kuba people. And it just represents the building of an economic center in the Black Arts and Culture District. Finally, the characters are not specific people. They're drawings that I've done at various times, and they feel sort of familiar to me. I believe that having general characters instead of specific people really allow an audience to kind of tell their own stories. These particular characters mean something very specific to me, but that's my story, and it does not have to be the story of a viewer. The construction, yeah, so I've been in touch with Riot Creative Images here in San Diego, and they specialize in printing on aluminum. And the results that I've seen have exceeded my expectations. I'm intending to have these images printed on aluminum and CNC cut into silhouettes and then collaged together on the outside of the building. I have been assured by them and by others that printing on aluminum is one of the best ways to keep vibrant colors outdoors over many years. The results are hopefully going to be pretty big. They should be about 20 feet tall and about 30 feet wide. And they'll be placed on the upper 2/3 of the building in order to deter graffiti. And the aluminum cutouts will be attached by a steel armature that will hopefully make the piece entirely removable if needed. And that is my presentation. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris, for your presentation. It's fantastic. Are there any comments, observations that you'd like to share for this preliminary presentation?
I like it. I like that my hair made it into to the art piece. I'm glad I was your inspiration that day. That was fun. Well, if you look at the video, you can see I had some crazy color hair. And I love all of this background information. It's history, very relatable. Like you said, you got Willie Morrow in there. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I mean, when you look at it, you know automatically what's happening. Even if you don't know the exact definition, I still see I still get it. So, and then seeing that it's gonna be a metal with vibrant colors, it's exciting to know. And I love that it's kind of movable or just attached, but not really attached. So, and just seeing it from the building, so from the street as well. So I like the concept very much.
Thank you.
Is there a reason it has to be movable or has to have full panels?
Yeah, I was asked to make it removable as a condition of using the Boys and Girls Club.
So just to maybe clarify that further, so it's a preliminary site. So the Boys and Girls Club in Canto Branch is a city facility. However, it's under a leasehold. So the city doesn't directly control it, even though it's a city property. So we've had conversations with the Boys and Girls Club and they're expressed interest in being open to placement of the artwork there. So that will require us to do some additional agreement for their review to facilitate installation and city's maintenance of it. So we want it to be removable in case for some reason site conditions change, so we can retain the artwork and put it in another location that makes sense if we ever had to change that.
So just a question on that front though. When does the lease for the Boys and Girls Club end?
Their lease is for I don't have the specific years, but it's for quite a long time. So we need to ensure
9 years.
Yeah. So yeah. So our next step will be to work with the Boys and Girls Club more in depth as to an agreement. But we need to ensure that it's removable because you know, site conditions can change, and we want to make sure that we can retain an artwork in the community. But they have expressed interest in being very open to the possibility of it being placed there.
So my concern here would be that, to me, 10 years for a public art project is not a long time. I think these are projects that should last a very long time, right? And so I'm thinking is, who knows what happens, you know, with the next leaseholder, you know, may not want it. And so my only question, and I guess challenge to you would be, is there like an alternative site, a B, that you can just think about in case conditions change? And, you know, I think it's spectacular work and it'll be a net add for the community for sure, and enhances the pride in African culture, right? And even contemporary African-American culture. So I think that you've got to figure out, okay, where can it go if it has to move? And just maybe that's something we could talk about next time.
I am also a little bit worried about the duration of the printing outdoors. I mean, how long is it supposed to last? The colors. 5 years?
I was told decades, but I am not sure that that's true. I talked to the printers themselves, but I also went to Texture and they assured me that this is the best option for this kind.
We have multiple works in the city's collection that are kind of like printed on aluminum, and they actually do hold up really well in an outdoor environment.
running figure also.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I also have prints on aluminum myself, but the sun, the sun here gets really, really strong, really damage. And maybe we're thinking about 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. How long is that long? How long is this going to last? Just put that question out there regarding the materials.
Yeah, all I can really go on is what I've been told by other people.
Maybe one other thing I'll just remind everybody is part of the process and part of the artist's responsibility is also to consult with an art conservator a little further into the development. So all the materials will be evaluated to ensure longevity as much as possible.
Also, I have a question in reference to Commissioner Robinson's statement about vibrant colors. I don't see vibrant colors here. It reads dark. Huh? What?
I see my hair.
Oh, well,
That's
I
vibrant
see
enough.
some, but I find them flat colors. They're not vibrant to me.
Okay, yeah.
So it just reads overall dark. Maybe that's your intent. But I just thought I'd just make that statement.
Okay.
In the sense, like looking at the base, and normally bases are more brown or reddish brown or something. So I can understand in you seeing it being, just dark, like all elements that aren't necessarily dark are dark. I can see that. But I see me, so.
Dr. Rogers?
Can I just say, I mean, the way you've incorporated aspects of African culture, and then you brought it to the present with African American culture and fused them together, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
I think it's amazing. And I mean, people can learn about their past. Sometimes that's not taught in schools.
Yeah.
And they can bring it to the present. I mean, referencing Willie Morrow. I mean, the neighbor when they learn. I mean, that's a way of honoring present inventors that although passed away, and also past artistic creativity. And I want to say something about the color. It's the nature of African art that it's brown. So you capture that the essence of the African past and then fused it with the present. And I hope it lasts because it needs to last in the neighborhood.
Chris, a couple things. If you can real quick, Chuck, look behind where it showed the building. It looked like it was kind of taken at sunset and it was getting very, very dark. Any possible of lighting, either up lighting, down lighting, because my concern is it's already dark subject matter. And then when the sun goes down, it goes really, really dark, just keeping that alive after the sun goes down.
All right, well, I will be honest with you. I was asked to do exactly two things in this project. One of them is to celebrate African and African American culture in the Black Arts and Culture District. And the other one is to bring light into that neighborhood. Though I have been told that the city absolutely will not pay.
Okay.
There is no.
So just to clarify, at this point, we're just garnering feedback. I think there's opportunities to explore lighting. So
That would be fantastic.
I want to clarify that. Right now, we're just garnering input from everybody, and then we'll clarify and explore that with the artists, all of the artists.
Yeah, because honestly, I went there at night, the entire building disappeared. It's just.
Well, sunset it disappeared. I was okay. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you for that clarification. And Chris, thank you so much for the presentation. Chuck, are there any public comments for this item that was submitted in writing?
Thank you, Commissioner Opstead. No comments were submitted in writing. I'll now ask members of the public in attendance. Yes.
Here once with the Sandy African American Museum of Fine Art and the entity that manages the district, and I just want to thank each of you for the thoughtfulness, listening to the community, and the person on the thing can't see me, but I mean, it you did us right. Yeah, appreciate it. It's cool.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And now I'll just ask, we do have one virtual attendee. Please.
Chris, you gotta stand up here for one more.
I'll just say, please press the hand raise button now if you'd like to provide comment on this agenda item. And I'm seeing none. So thanks.
Now you're good.
Okay.
There you go. Thanks, Chris. I know we're running a little bit behind, trying to honor time limits here. I'd like to call on Christine to provide any staff reports.
First of all, thank you for bearing with us today. We could get through all of those presentations and really appreciate everybody's feedback, which the artists will take into the further development of their concept, which will come back to you for more refinement later this spring, hopefully. But I just have one update, just given our time. Balboa Art Conservation Center, which is a local nonprofit organization that facilitates art conservation, has an open call for young adults interested in getting into either the preservation, conservation, or collection care field. And it's an opportunity that there'll be a cohort of about 10 young adults who will be able to learn about conservation care, collective care, and we're very happy to be collaborating with the ACC on their inaugural internship program. So they will be working with the City Civic Art Collection. So we're working on curriculum as to what that will look like for the cohort, and they'll be working this summer to learn more about collection care and preservation of public art. So if you know any young adults who might be interested in this type of work, the application is open through Balboa Art Conservation's website now through, I believe, March 31st. It is a paid opportunity, so I think they're paying about 27 something an hour. So it is a paid opportunity for young adults to learn and be part of a pipeline, because art conservation is a field that's very much lacking in terms of actual anybody and diversity. So this is a true opportunity to really diversify the field and also make sure we still have a field for art conservation.
You said young adults, was there an age?
I believe it says on the website, but I believe it's 18 to 26.
I've already forwarded it to.
Great. And that concludes my updates today.
Excellent. Is Leticia still involved with that?
She is.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Christine, for that report. Are there any committee reports or announcements to be made? Okay.
Just one quick announcement that the San Diego Art Prize exhibition closes this Sunday.
Okay.
So there's today and tomorrow to go and visit and check it out. Oh, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Yes.
Thank you very much. And finally, Chuck, please read any public comment for this item that was submitted in writing and call on any attendees to like to provide comment for it.
Thank you, Commissioner Upstead. No comment submitted in writing. I'll ask those members of the public in attendance. And then those attending virtually, please press the hand raise button now. And I'm seeing none.
Thank you, Chuck. Real quick, thank you to Roberto virtually, Cowrie, Chris, for your wonderful presentations, thoughtfulness, symbolism, fantastic work. Look forward to working with you. And thank you all committee members for your patience and for being here. Our next meeting is going to be on Friday, April 11th, and this meeting is officially adjourned at 9:52. Thanks, everybody.
Nice to meet you, yeah.